If you're planning a trip to the United States, hold on. Because what you're about to hear might completely change how you travel or even where you go. Tourists from around the world arrive in the US full of excitement, only to face surprises they never saw coming. Some are harmless culture shocks. Others, they can ruin your whole vacation and leave you feeling unprepared, frustrated, or even unsafe. But don't worry, we've gathered real stories from travelers, hard-earned lessons, and practical tips to help you stay ahead of the curve and enjoy your trip with confidence. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and tap the bell icon so you never miss another travel insight. It helps support the channel and keeps videos like this coming your way. Culture shock is real, and it starts at the airport. Many tourists say the cultural differences hit them the moment they land. From border control to customs, the atmosphere can feel strict, especially if you're used to friendlier immigration procedures. Officers might not smile. They might ask direct or personal questions. And it's not about being rude, it's just how the system works here. Once you leave the airport, tipping becomes another big surprise. In many countries, tipping is optional or even offensive. But in the US, not tipping at restaurants, bars, or even hair salons is seen as disrespectful. Most service workers rely on tips to make a living. So be ready to leave 15 to 20% in restaurants and a few dollars for hotel staff or taxi drivers. Public transport isn't always reliable. Tourists often assume the US will have a solid, nationwide public transportation system like Europe or parts of Asia. But unless you're in a major city like New York, Chicago, or Washington, D.C., you'll probably need a car. In many areas, buses are rare, trains don't connect well, and rideshare services like Uber can be expensive in remote towns. If you're planning to visit small towns or rural attractions like national parks, you might need to rent a car. Just be sure to check your driver's license requirements ahead of time. Some states accept foreign licenses, others don't. The price tag isn't the final price. Another thing tourists wish they knew sooner is that the price you see isn't always the price you pay. That's because most US stores and restaurants list prices without tax. So when you see a $10 item, expect to pay around $11 or more at the counter depending on local taxes. Also, remember that prices vary a lot between states. A coffee in New York might cost double what it costs in Texas. Budgeting can be tricky if you don't plan ahead. And don't forget about hidden resort fees at hotels, extra charges for baggage, or service fees at events. Rural US is a whole different world. Big cities like New York and Los Angeles may feel modern and fast-paced, but rural America moves slower. You'll find fewer people, more conservative values, and sometimes even different laws. In some areas, open-carry gun laws surprise foreign tourists. You might even walk into a store and see someone legally carrying a firearm. But that doesn't mean it's unsafe, just different. Locals are usually friendly, especially if you're respectful. Small-town hospitality can be warm and genuine. Just don't assume every place works like your home country. Learn a bit about where you're going before you arrive. Healthcare can get expensive fast. This one's critical. Unlike many countries with public healthcare, the US system is mostly private and expensive. A simple visit to the emergency room can cost hundreds, even thousands, without insurance. Many tourists don't realize how fast medical bills can pile up. Before your trip, make sure to buy travel insurance that covers healthcare. Read the fine print. If you're planning adventure activities like hiking, biking, or skiing, make sure those are covered too. You don't want a twisted ankle turning into a financial disaster. Be aware of safety and where not to go. The US is generally safe for tourists, but not all neighborhoods are created equal. In most major cities, there are zones that locals themselves avoid, especially after dark. Tourists sometimes wander into the wrong area without knowing it. That's when trouble can start. Before booking your hotel, do some research. Look at crime maps and recent reviews. Stick to well-lit areas and always stay alert in public transport hubs, busy tourist attractions, and ATM locations. Avoid showing off cash, expensive cameras, or flashy jewelry. Also, always obey local laws, especially regarding alcohol and cannabis. While marijuana may be legal in some states, it's still banned federally and in others. Carrying or using it without understanding local laws can lead to arrest or fines. The US is huge, don't try to see it all. One of the most common mistakes tourists make is trying to visit too many cities in too little time. The US is massive, it's not like hopping from one country to another in Europe. A drive from New York to Los Angeles takes over 40 hours. Flights between cities can take half a day when you include airport time. Instead, choose a region and explore it deeply. For example, stick to the Northeast, New York, Boston, Philadelphia, or do a West Coast loop, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle. You'll enjoy it more, and travel will be less stressful. Customer service is intense, in a good way. Many tourists are surprised by how eager Americans are to help, especially in the service industry. From waiters to retail clerks, people often check in on you more frequently than in other countries. Some love it. Others find it overwhelming. This strong focus on service is part of the tipping culture. Don't be surprised if your waiter checks on your table every few minutes or if a store employee offers help as soon as you enter. Just smile and say you're browsing if you prefer space. Be ready for identity checks and surveillance. The US takes security seriously. You might be asked for ID at random places, buying alcohol, entering government buildings, or even when paying with a credit card. Always carry a copy of your passport or official ID. CCTV surveillance is also widespread. It's not uncommon to find cameras in public places, transport stations, and even parks. It's mostly for safety, but it can feel intrusive if you're not used to it. Also, don't be alarmed by visible police presence. In some cities, officers carry large weapons and travel in groups. That doesn't mean something bad is happening, it's just how things are done. American food portions can be shocking. If you're eating out, be ready for huge portion sizes. Many first-time visitors are stunned at how much food comes on a single plate. While it may seem like a good deal, it can also lead to waste or overeating. Here's a tip: if you can't finish your meal, just ask for a to-go box. It's totally normal in the US to take leftovers with you. In fact, it's expected in many places. Also, don't forget that free water and refills are common in most restaurants, just ask. Plan for weather extremes. The US covers many climate zones, from the snowy mountains of Colorado to the swamps of Florida and the deserts of Arizona. That means weather can shift dramatically depending on where and when you go. Some areas also face extreme weather events like hurricanes, wildfires, or blizzards. Always check forecasts before traveling and know local emergency procedures. If you're renting a car, understand how to drive in snow or heat, or avoid those conditions altogether. Mobile data isn't always cheap or reliable. International tourists often assume they'll have great mobile service everywhere. But depending on your plan, using your home carrier in the US can be costly. Roaming charges add up quickly. To stay connected, buy a prepaid SIM card or eSIM from a local provider. T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon all have short-term plans for tourists. Also, don't count on Wi-Fi in remote areas. Even some hotels charge extra for high-speed access. Visiting the US can be an incredible experience full of adventure, culture, and iconic landmarks. But it's also a place of contrast, where understanding the little things makes a big difference. By preparing for cultural norms, legal quirks, and practical challenges, you can avoid the most common mistakes tourists make. Whether you're heading to Times Square, the Grand Canyon, or a small town in the Midwest, traveling smart means being informed. That's why videos like this exist, to help make your trip unforgettable in the best way possible. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone planning their next US adventure. Safe travels, and see you in the next one.